Baby, let the good times roll, roll with the punches and no matter how you roll the dice, let the good times roll.
G'day. I'll get closer so you can see me. G'day, welcome back to the channel. That's my life right now, walking in circles. This is also my life, lying down. I lie down a lot. And when I'm not lying down, I'm kneeling because those are my real only options. I can't sit for any extended length of time. That, of course, is due to the injury to the nerve in my posterior, which has effectively shut down my right-hand leg. I've got about 30% of the strength I used to have there, and it fatigues very quickly, gets very sore. So that's where I'm at the moment, which is one of the reasons I'm making this video, just to keep you up to date with what's going on. There'll be more about this on my Bruce Simpson channel because it's a health thing and that's kind of my health channel. But what's happening at the moment is I'm stuck here at home. I can't go anywhere. I can't walk because of obvious reasons. I just end up right where I started from. We're in a circle. And I can't actually drive or be driven anywhere because the pressure on the nerve in my posterior region creates quite a lot of discomfort. So I am pretty much faced with just putting up with it and not sitting around, but standing around, crouching around, lying around until things get a bit better. So I need a way of getting out and about. And one of the reasons I'm making this video is because I think I've got a solution. I think I've come up with a plan. I notice so many people with YouTube channels, even if they only get a few hundred views a video, even if they've only got a couple of thousand subscribers, they get e-scooters thrown at them. You know, I see all these influencers with their e-scooters that the companies have provided, and they get out there and race around and they sell them on eBay.
There it is. Yeah, that's the Highboy Titan Pro, man.
Oh, I like it. It's big.
It is nice. Looks fun, doesn't it?
It does look fun, powerful.
Oh, so powerful. The Highboy Titan Pro.
But I have a real need for an e-scooter. I can't afford one because, as I think everyone's aware, my content production has been quite low while I've been unable to do so. So the dollars, the revenue's just, the bum's fallen out of that. And so I've been living on my savings, which are very nearly gone. So I have to make the most of what I've got, pay the bills, keep the lights on. So I can't afford to go forking out money for an e-scooter. So what I'm hoping is that if there's a company out there that wants some free promotion, and it'll be the best kind of promotion, because if I get an e-scooter, I'll be using it a lot, and therefore it'll be featuring in videos, probably on all three of my channels. So if anyone wants to fling me an e-scooter, it doesn't have to be a keeper. I just want to borrow one until the summer, perhaps. Hopefully by the summer my leg will have improved. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of physio and stuff to try and make it better, but nerve damage takes forever to fix. But yeah, I'm on B group vitamins and all that sort of stuff. All the stuff. Going to the doctor tomorrow to see what else they can do. But I would really like to get an e-scooter, preferably one with a bit of off-road capability, so I can go out into the middle of the grassy reserves and down the paths, the tracks that lead to these places, so that I can get out and about. And because I can stand on an e-scooter. Brilliant. I don't have to sit or whatever. I want, it will give me that mobility, that freedom that I'm currently lacking. It's really kind of mind-numbingly boring being stuck at home because I can't even sit at the computer and do computery stuff because my backside gets sore. I kneel, but my knees get really sore after, half an hour. That's about it. Got to stand up, walk around or lie down. Anyway, not grizzling, not complaining, just giving you the information. I'm not here to grizzle. I mean, gosh, you guys got enough problems in your own life without worrying about mine. And I'm not depressed. I thought I might be, because 20-kilometre walks in the summer on a Sunday, brilliant. That's stuff I live for. If I'm never going to do that again, it's a big chunk of my life. It's going to significantly reduce my fitness, and it's going to have impact in my enjoyment of life. But hey, I'm not going to, not going to grizzle. Could be worse. Both legs could be affected. So I just make the most of a bad situation, but that means I've got to get some transport. Anyway, that's just to bring you up to speed here. Now, I put a comment on my community tab asking if people wanted to know what's going on between me and the council, the things that are happening, because I've had a bit of time, you see, not much else to do. And today I laid a complaint with the New Zealand Law Association, a law society, whatever it is, law society, can't remember, yeah. The people who administer the legal profession, because I think I caught our chief executive breaking the law in a manner that could see her exposed to a criminal prosecution and a very large fine. So I have passed the details on to them, and they will now be considering whether to prosecute, and who knows what will happen, but it's really not a good look for the chief executive. I've also made a complaint to the Privacy Commissioner because I have made a request for all the information that the council currently holds on me. You can do that in New Zealand, part of the Privacy Act. There's a spider's web here. Part of the Privacy Act. And I've asked them to do that, but they have failed to comply. It amounts to a refusal to comply. You can't just say, oh, we don't want to comply with an act of law. You've got to follow it. So again, I've laid a complaint because they are in breach of the Privacy Act by a significant margin. And the reason they don't want to comply is because just like with CAA, when I filed the same request with CAA quite a few years ago, remember, just before lockdown, CAA, they realised we've got to comply. We know there's stuff in this dump of information that's going to really severely embarrass us, but we have to comply, don't have an option. Our council seems to think, oh, we know there's stuff in here that's going to really embarrass us and expose us to legal liability, so we'll just fail to comply. You can't do that, people. So, as I say, complaints have been laid. A complaint is going to be laid with the Ombudsman, the Human Rights Review Tribunal, and I'm also getting a civil case together because you recall a few years ago, I used to have fantastic videos on this channel where I was flying drones and model aircraft at the airfield, filming others doing the same. Remember that? And you'll recall that the council came along and sent me a letter telling me of this rule that I had broken, and therefore I was no longer allowed to fly at the airfield. And when I went to the council and said, can I please have a copy of this rule? They didn't actually have a copy of it. There's no official record of this rule, but I have to follow the rule, the rule that's only ever been written in a letter, and no one else has to, just me, and that prohibits me from flying at the airfield. So that is an unreasonable, unlawful restraint of my ability to trade and make money. So I'm going to sue the bastards for every cent I've lost by not being able to make those videos that you and everyone else wanted to see. I mean, they've reached a point now where I've got nothing to lose, so I'm just going hell for leather. So the information they're providing under this Privacy Act thing is also cogent to that law case, that lawsuit. So many good things happening here. This council has picked the wrong goddamn rec room to piss around with. I am now on the pushback phase, very strong pushback phase. So I will do a separate video on that because I will just show you what's happened and the laws that have been broken. You can join the dots and see just how little regard, little respect this council or its chief executive appear to have for the laws of the land as dictated by the government of the day. Really not satisfactory at all. Anyway, moving on. Drone news coming up because the last week or so has been crazy stuff in full-size aviation and in the drone sector. I've got to cover some of the stuff because it's unbelievable, crazy. And on my community tab, I've also put a poll to see how people felt about the future of the hobby. Are you very concerned, moderately concerned, or only slightly concerned? The vast majority of people were very concerned about the future of the hobby, certainly in the USA. The hobby is facing an existential crisis. So I'm going to come up with some ideas. How do we sort this out? Or how do we create something out of the ashes of this hobby that will be enjoyable and something that we can engage in without fear of being fined or whatever? And we've got to pull something out of this train wreck that is the hobby, especially the FPV side of it. So I've got a lot of things to do, folks, and I've also got some things I want to get out and do. I can't even get out to my bloody workshop at the moment because, I can't move. So as I say, priority for me, if anyone out there knows a company that wants an influencer to demonstrate their product, especially at a time of really high gas prices, because the other thing is, look around the world, it's just a mess. The world's a mess. Fuel prices gone through the roof. We've got geopolitical tensions all over the place. We've got AI bubble about to burst. We've got SpaceX doing an IPO when it's solely reliant on something like the Starlink system. Starlink is the only part of SpaceX that makes a profit. And Starlink is so incredibly vulnerable. Huge coronal mass ejection could knock out huge percentage of its satellites. The Kessler syndrome, if that happens, if these satellites start banging into each other, that could also start knocking out a whole lot of the Starlink birds, and setting new ones up won't help, it just adds to the mess. And then even if we have something like a limited nuclear exchange, perhaps in the Ukrainian theatre of war, that would have a massive effect on Starlink because the electromagnetic pulses and the atmospheric ionization would cause massive havoc within the satellite network. So yeah, things are looking pretty dire but these are things I don't talk about because this should be a channel about enjoying yourself with a family-friendly hobby. The one that they just discontinued by placing ridiculous regulations and restraints on it. So anyway, all that stuff's coming up. I've really wanted to get my wheels spinning because I've got to earn enough money to pay the bills next month, which is looking a bit unlikely. So there will be more videos coming out. Hopefully you'll watch them, share them around so other people watch them, and YouTube will pay me a few pennies and I can basically keep the lights on. Here we go. Thank you. And a huge thanks to my Patreon supporters who have been the only reason the lights are still on today. I'll pay you back soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment for the algorithm. And don't forget to like and subscribe because that's what YouTubers tell you to do. But you know that. See you soon.